Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of That's So Matthew. Today, I am so excited because I have Kelly from Penny for Your Thoughts back on the pod to discuss Twilight New Moon. What an episode. For anyone who has not heard, it is Twilight month here on the podcast, and I'm talking about a new Twilight movie every single week of the month, and I am very excited to get into today's episode. While the movie may have disappointed us, I assure you that this episode will not. There's so much to talk about. Jacob came out of nowhere and shocked us. You'll hear all about that. I also just wanted to let you all know that I'm already planning for May, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys think of the amazing episodes. It's going to be another amazing month here on the podcast. It's been a crazy week. I have training for my job, and the podcast is also doing amazing. I want to thank you all so much for tuning into last week's episode, Twilight with Tori. Y'all are loving the episode, and I'm so excited because the podcast, like I said, has been in a little bit of a slump, but it has revived itself, and I could not be more happy and more excited and more proud of what I've been doing here on the podcast. I just want to thank everyone so much for the support. And without further ado, here's my conversation with Kelly on Twilight New Moon. Welcome back, Kelly. How have you been? I feel like it's been a hot second.
I know. I feel like there's a time this month where we talked pretty recently or 2 times in a row. And then there's this long period and I was like, man, I haven't talked to him in a while. I can't wait to talk to him again about another movie.
I know, because we did our comfort movies episode on your podcast, which is Chef's Kiss. Amazing. Everyone should go check it out. Then we did The Emperor's New Groove. And now we're back for Twilight.
Yes, I can't wait for Twilight.
Just not any Twilight, though. This is New Moon. So for anyone who has not listened to my first Twilight episode, this is my first time watching all of the Twilight movies. I've never seen any of them. And so all my thoughts and reactions are super raw and super real. And I feel like all the guests that I have for these movies are die-hard Twilight fans, and it makes it so perfect.
Yes, I love that contrast. I can't believe this is literally your first time watching any of these movies. It's crazy, but it's a fun vibe for an episode.
It is. I am one of the uncultured little bitches who's never watched Twilight and was proud of it for a while. But now I'm why were you proud of that? These are actually good movies.
You're how did I miss out on this phenomenon?
No, truly. The first one, I loved every second. Well, okay, that's a lie. I did not love every second of it, but I loved it a lot. The first half is a little rocky, but towards the second half, it got interesting. There was lots of vampires. There was lots of good stuff. Cliffhanger ending, loved it. Now, this movie is very interesting. I watched this yesterday at night, and I'll be honest, I was not super excited to watch it because I hadn't heard anything good about it.
Yeah.
And I can see why. I don't want to say I was bored, but I was kind of zoning in and out while I was watching it, which is never a good sign. So I did take some notes, which is super exciting, so that I didn't forget anything. But I'm still it was so it felt so long.
It was. And also just the story progression, because it was for the most of the movie, it was Jacob, and it was so slow. And then at the end, it picked up with Edward so suddenly.
Yeah. So I was actually saying at the end of my last episode that Twilight was nothing like I thought it was. I thought there was going to be vampires, werewolves at each other's necks, fighting all the time. And there was no werewolf in the first movie. Now, I shouldn't have spoke because this entire movie is all werewolf, all Jacob. And I kind of was getting sick and tired of it at the end.
Yeah, especially how they told it. It was so slow and still unknown of what actually goes on with werewolves. It's just little context clues, and I feel the only reason why I know about werewolves is because I read so much fan fiction about them. So that's why I'm okay, it makes sense, I guess. But for people who aren't into werewolf fan fiction,
yeah, this movie is so weird. And now something super interesting about this movie is because I'm doing Twilight month, I'm talking about every single Twilight movie and every single character in each movie. And in this movie, Bella was like a new girl. I felt like the first movie, I absolutely did not like her at all. She like gave us nothing.
Yeah.
This movie, she still wasn't giving like what needed to be given, but she was like there like a little bit more. So I think like off the bat, our first character is obviously going to be Bella. So Bella Swan, girl, you are concerning. Like she is turning 18, and the whole
I
thing
know.
is like, oh my gosh, Edward is so much older than her. What is she gonna do? But then she goes for a 16-year-old.
I didn't realize that was their age difference.
I am
Jacob's
fairly certain
16.
he was 16.
Oh, wait, she's 18? Isn't that like graduating age? I don't.
Yeah. Because like the whole thing is like it's her 18th birthday thing, and they have like the whole
Oh,
weird birthday scene, and then it's so weird.
that is weird. What are the main differences you saw with Bella between the first and second movie?
Well, in this movie, she's actually showing some emotion, which is good.
Yeah, sad girl.
Sad girl vibes. The one scene that really like got me with Bella is the scene where she's just screaming over and over again, like in her bed.
Oh my God. The memes about like her screaming at night is so funny. Like there's like some TikToks are like Carlisle, wait, no, Charlie trying to sleep at night and hearing Bella scream. Like imagine being her dad.
It's so weird. And
He's
they
like,
just do it so casually. Like it's so weird. Don't you think it was weird? I think it was
yeah,
weird.
it was funny. Like I can't. She was just like having night terrors, and I just like, like what is she screaming about? Just because she misses him? Or, like what
Exactly.
else?
So that's the next thing I wanted to get into is she is crying over this vampire man. He is not that worth that crying over. Like,
I know, literally. I guess maybe it's like your first like high school love. I don't know if that's like a thing that they're trying to like tell with that, like how
it's
deep.
just so weird. Like, I did like her in this movie more than the first movie, but she's still like not there for me. Like, I didn't enjoy her.
Yeah, in this movie, she very much felt like a teenager, like going through her angsty phase, rebelling, like wanting that adrenaline rush, like going on her motorcycle, like, cliff diving, but kind of being suicidal. Like she's like, if that's the only way I will see Edward, then I'm doing it.
Okay,
Like
yeah, she's way too desperate to go see Edward. Like, what is going
literally.
on? Like, it's so weird. Like, essentially, the plot of this movie that I have gathered, I wrote this in my notes at the very end after I was like kind of salty that I didn't like the movie that much. I was like, Edward leaves Bella. Bella is salty about Edward leaving her, and she decides to go F another boy.
I have another boy that happens
I
to be a
actually used the
werewolf.
word, but like I am still in the transitional period of like that. So,
Oh, okay.
so I'm not sure if I want to like say that out loud on the internet.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. So essentially that is the plot of this movie. Do you disagree?
I don't disagree. It's like, yeah, Edward leaves her. She gets delusional, sees him, wants the adrenaline rush, but then becomes lonely and then fills the void with becoming friends with her childhood friend Jacob, and then has a weird friendship between them. And then he leaves her because he's going through stuff, turning into a werewolf and everything. And she again gets sad and then gets thrust into that world again and not pretends to die, but like they thought she died. And then it's a whole different plot after that.
No. And then can we talk about how they literally go to like Italy?
I know they're like zooming, like they're like, we gotta go now. Zoom, like that whole montage of them driving down.
It's so weird. Like this movie, guys, is on another level.
There's so many things that went on. It's just like, why? I guess to tell a story overall, but did we really need to know that much about werewolves and her relationship with Jacob? I mean, maybe for like the next movie, which you haven't watched yet,
I
but you'll
haven't watched
see.
yet, and I'm probably gonna watch it like tomorrow because I'm guys, this is so bad. I'm already recording episodes for May and I'm not even done with Twilight month.
Are you serious?
Well, okay, this is like the only time that works. And so I'm like, whatever, we'll make it work.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
So we're
You're like,
taking a little
I'm
Twilight
taking a break.
hiatus tomorrow or today because I'm gonna watch a different movie, and then tomorrow I'm back on the Twilight grind.
Uh, I wish you could just watch it all in one sitting. It's so like interesting. It's so funny to watch it all in a row, like in the same day.
I watched them about like 5 days separated. No, like a week. So just because I've been so busy. Welcome to the life of a teenager.
Literally.
But Edward in this movie, can we talk about him? I think we need to talk about it. Okay. What is his deal?
He I don't even know. Like I feel like he was barely there, but like there.
Essentially, he's like, I'm unsafe for you, Bella, so I'm leaving.
Literally. And then just ghost her. That's literal definition of ghosting.
I would know a thing or two about ghosting, and that is definitely what ghosting is.
You're like, I got triggered watching Edward in
No,
this movie.
literally traumatizing.
Literally left her in the woods. Like, I thought you wanted her to be safe. Like,
Okay,
what?
yeah,
Okay.
what is going on? So Edward has like such this weird, like, you know, the song on TikTok. Well, it's not a song on TikTok, it's like an actual song. It's like Katy Perry's Hot and Cold. You're hot, you're
Yes.
cold. That's essentially Edward Cullen.
The way you said a song on TikTok and you said Katy Perry hot and cold.
Okay, well, I know that it's because I'm pretty sure it's trending on TikTok right now, and that's like why that's like the first thing that came to mind.
That's so funny. I did
Um,
think their relationship in the beginning when they were like at school was like kind of cute. I was like, oh, they're like kind of showing character. And then he's just like, bye.
okay, and also I wrote this in my notes in like the opening scene of this movie, Edward looks like he was edited in because he
Oh.
looks so unreal. He's like the pale. I mean, look at me. In this lighting, I'm like whiter than a ghost, but like he looks so white and then
And sparkling.
yeah. It's just so weird because like I have heard that like towards the end of like the saga, there's like some CGI baby thing.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on that.
But like this is so funny to me.
I didn't even realize that. It's
It's just
just
I don't think they did I don't think he was, but he just looks so fake. I'm like, are you real?
true because all the CGI with the glitter sparkling.
It's so like this movie is such a fever dream.
Oh, one thing I did notice about Edward is that during the school scene, I did notice his foundation, like his whiteness, not matching his neck. So I'm like, you could really tell his face is white, but like you could see his still like regular color underneath. And I was like, that is not blending. You need to blend to the
They
neck.
need like a James Charles like beauty blender lesson.
Literally, I was like, is this supposed to be believable? He's a vampire?
Yeah, no, in the beginning I didn't hate Edward. I didn't. And then it got like really weird because it's like the whole party scene and then it's like there's like something with the blood and then he's like I have to leave.
I know that literally didn't make sense. Like just because he's not safe, because um what's his brother's name? Whatever. One of his brothers freaked out.
Jasper.
And then didn't he make the excuse that like hey, people are starting to notice they're not aging?
Yeah. So
And I'm like, how long have they even been there?
essentially, from what I understand, Bella gets a paper cut and he's like, if I see the blood, I'm gonna eat you, and then you're gonna turn into a vampire, and then we're all gonna be exposed, so we have to leave.
This
Who's
is such
gotten a
a
paper cut while unwrapping a gift?
no one. And paper cuts don't even bleed like that.
Literally, I last time I got a paper cut, which was like last week, there was no blood.
Like it blood doesn't come out when you get a paper cut. Like how thick was that paper?
Yeah, he like Jasper. Well, I'm pretty sure Jasper's the one who like tries to attack her, and then he's like, "You're in danger, Bella. We need to leave."
The iconic pushing her against the wall scene.
Yeah,
Throwing her.
it's so like it's so early 2000s this movie. Also, what happened to the blue filter? The blue filter on the first movie is
I
gone.
know. I hated how because they like got more money and more production that they just like lost the small indie vibes of the movie. Like you could
No,
also tell the quality changed.
it did. It did. I was gonna say because Tori, who was my guest from the first one, was like, yeah, like you can definitely tell that as they move along, it gets more and more like big studio. And I was like, oh, and then
It really does. Like towards the end, it's like the final form of the big studio. It's kind of interesting throughout the years. Like, wait, when did the first Twilight come out?
That one came out in 2008.
Dang.
So this one came out in 2009. I didn't even say when it was released. It came out on November 20th, 2009.
Dang. I was I like had just turned 9 then.
I was a little 5-year-old. Yeah, it's literally this movie's so interesting. But now to the big star of the movie, Jacob Black, Taylor Lautner. He came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I know. Suddenly he's like a main character.
Suddenly. Like, I obviously knew that at some point he was going to become a main character because I have not lived under a rock. I know there's Team Edward, Team Jacob. I've seen the posters. I'm pretty sure he's on the poster for this movie. Like, it's very obvious that this is what's going to be happening. But then he comes out of this movie. He still goes into the movie with the hair, the long,
The
disgusting wig. But I literally commented that the wig looks a little bit better than last time, but still is pretty bad.
That's so funny.
And to my surprise, just a mere 20 minutes later, he has completely cut off his hair and looks like the most finest specimen of a man.
Yes. His haircut, good. And then all of a sudden he's just shirtless all the time. Like when he first shows his new hair and he's shirtless, I was like, dang, they're really doing
I wasn't
this.
saying dang, I was saying damn. I was texting my friend Claire in the middle of this. She's a Twilight stan, and I was like, can we talk about Jacob? And she's like, I'm Team Edward for storyline purposes, but for looks, I'm Team Jacob. And I never thought I'd hear her say anything like that. And so I was like,
that's so funny.
It's just so funny because like he is a very fine specimen of a man with this shirtless look and the abs and the haircut. And I cannot deny his beauty.
Yeah, and you could tell he's like bulkier too. Even I feel like before when he had the wig on, he didn't have the full transformation yet. And so I thought that was interesting I feel like maybe they filmed those scene after when he like bulked up and got like thicker.
No, he is so hot in this movie, and I'm not afraid to admit it. Like, who let him do this?
I think I didn't care about him because I was like, I am Team Edward till I die. So I was just like, ugh, Jacob, whatever.
And then we also can't forget that the whole point of the werewolves are to protect Bella from vampires. What?
Yes.
Who?
So interesting. They're the only people we kill. We only kill vampires.
We are here to protect Bella, but only Bella? What about like the other people that are getting preyed on by vampires? It makes so much sense, but so little sense at the exact same time.
Oh yes. Oh, you're gonna see in the next movie. You're gonna be in for it then.
I know. My bestie Maggie is coming on the podcast. She's the one who inspired Twilight Month, and this is her movie. Eclipse is her movie. And I'm so excited because I'm like nervous. I'm nervous to see why she likes it, but I'm also excited because she always has the best commentary, and I feel like she's gonna be shading it the entire time.
LOL.
This is us shading this movie essentially already, and we haven't even like got to any like actual content of the movie.
I know people are like, so what happened in the movie?
Let's see. Also Alice is like scarier in this movie than she was in the first movie.
Scarier?
I don't know. I think she's
like,
frightening. Like I'm uneasy about her.
She's just very, yeah. I feel those vibes. It's just like she's so quirky that's like you don't know. I felt like I didn't know her intentions.
You know what? That is so fair. I don't like her hair.
That some people love her hair. People are like, oh my god, Alice's iconic hair. And I'm like, iconic where?
Iconic where? No, I'm not a huge fan of it. TBH. Like, don't come at me. Like, I have a question. Do the Twilight fans have like a name for their fan base?
Oh my god, they do. Twihearts? Twihards?
Oh my God.
Twihards? I don't know. I forget. Something like that.
Let me look it up because I need to know because I feel like they definitely would.
Oh my God. You're going to get their audience.
Um, they're known as Twilighters or Vampires, but that doesn't sound right.
Huh?
I thought they were
I've never heard
Twihards. I
that.
feel like I've heard Twihards.
Yes, that's the only name I've heard. I've never heard of those other ones. Ew.
Oh yeah, it is Twihard. Am I
Yay,
like?
wow.
I feel like I'm turning into a Twihard, and I'm only 2 movies in.
You're gonna be like obsessed by the end. You're
I know
thinking
that's
about it
like
24/7.
the podcast is changing me. It is. It has made me a new man.
Seeing things in blue tint.
Yeah, literally, I love it. Um, Victoria is back. What? What does she want this time? I was so confused about Victoria at the end of the movie. And then Tori like explained it to me, and then I was like, I'm so confused. And then she's like, you're gonna get more confused. Just wait till Eclipse. And I'm like, what? And then I heard that she gets played by a completely different actress. So then I'm gonna be even more confused.
You're gonna be like, who is this girl again?
No, in this movie, she literally is it's so random.
I know, she's just like there, like stalking Bella.
Yeah, she basically just wants to like I don't want to. What's the word that I want to use? Like avenge. She wants to, like avenge her lover or whatever. I wrote that in my notes. I don't know what his name is.
James, I think.
Oh yeah, James. James.
She's an Avenger.
No, she is. She is. No, it's just so. I wish that I had like more to say about her, but like I'm just like so underwhelmed with her in this movie.
Yeah, I guess maybe for like storyline purposes to like say that she's gonna be in the Twilight, she's still in the Twilight realm so that's why maybe they put her in still in this movie. But like it was just like okay. And then what's the guy? Vincent? No. Vermont? Lawrence?
Laurent.
Laurent?
I think it's Laurent. I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's like Laurent. Laurent.
He just dies. We just see him for a little bit, and then the werewolves and Jacob's just like, oh yeah, he was easy to kill. Just tore him up.
No, because they're like literally just defending. The werewolves are literally just defending Bella from like Victoria and like Laurent. We can also talk about Laurent. He literally just wants to kill Bella and is like, I thirst for you, girl.
I know. Is it because didn't they say like because her blood or she smells different or something weird?
It's something so weird. It's so.
Oh, is it her smell like that thing Edward was like in the first movie?
Probably. I don't know. It's just really weird.
I know. Like, why are they obsessed with this girl when this girl gives us nothing?
She literally is giving us nothing. I also like don't understand essentially like what the point of him being here, but if he's already dead, he's like in here for like a hot second, and then he dies, and it's like, oh, what's gonna happen next?
Why even bring him back? We were not even wondering about him before.
Exactly. I also like there's like a bunch of other like Cullen members of the family here that like it's just there's so much like going on with the vampires, but so little at the exact same time.
Yeah, I felt the same with the werewolves too. Like they introduced us to like the clan or like Jacob's family, his pack, but I'm like still confused like about like what was it? Sam or someone's fiance, but he like wait, am I thinking of the right movie now?
I have no idea.
Just like the pack stuff and how they have such anger issues that like the oh man, how am I forgetting the names? The one girl got her face marked up because the guy got mad for a split second.
I have no idea.
You know the girl with like half her face like scratched off?
Yeah, I don't know what her name is though.
Yeah, I forgot either. But just like how
much
they're so angry when you're zoning out. It's just like werewolves are so angry, I guess. But that was such a weird thing, like a very specific thing that they really added to the movie that they kind of pointed out a lot, that Jacob had anger issues and then the other werewolves have anger issues and like get ticked off very easily. Maybe because they're still like newly transformed.
Yeah, I don't know. The werewolf thing is so weird. Like, I'm kind of intrigued to see where it goes, like, in the next couple movies, like, because I'm kind of like here for the werewolves, but kind of not at the same time.
Yeah, they gave us a lot of history on that and the Volturi. Like they just gave us a history lesson for vampires and werewolves.
Yeah, and then like, yeah. I also want to talk about the friend Mike or whatever who goes on the date to the movie theater with them. So awkward.
I know it's very, you could tell they're young by how awkward he was. He throws up because of all the gore. And he's like, "Oh, you want to go to this movie?" And like how both Jacob and his hands were like open on the side on the
Yeah.
chairs. It's so funny.
We also have the what's her name? Heidi, who's like the guard lady. She literally just is like very sexy and attractive, and then everyone's like falls in love with her or whatever. And then she like gets them to like, I don't know, like stay together or something. And then she like is part of the grand vampire scheme. And I don't understand the grand vampire scheme. Like I'm still very confused.
I like don't even remember. I'm
All
at
I
a
know is
loss
that
for
there was this
words.
really attractive lady, and I looked up who she is, and her name is Heidi, and she's like making herself like attractive, and then she like distracts people while they're like with the vampires, and I don't know.
Oh, like the tour guide person?
Yeah,
Oh, I know that's such a weird like pyramid scheme. They like lure people so they could get eaten for the Volturi. Like
it's
these tourists.
so weird. I don't understand the whole vampire thing still, and they didn't help with the ending because the ending just has me more confused.
Yeah, I would agree.
We'll get there in just like literally a little bit, but it's so confusing. I have so many questions. Yeah. Also, before we get into the plot, the soundtrack of this movie is like top notch.
Didn't I tell you about the Twilight saga? The soundtracks are so good.
Yeah, no, the first one, perfect. This one, even better. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I am obsessed. I may or may not have been listening to it on Spotify earlier.
That's so fun. And it gets better.
Okay, I can't wait. I'm like a sucker for like a good movie soundtrack.
Like one of them, like for the later movies, is like the soundtrack I think of if or whenever I do get married.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
It's
I literally
so
have
good.
Twilight New Moon pulled up on my Spotify.
Oh, it's bangers.
No, it's so good. Like the mix of like the country pop with like the eerie like music in the background in some of these more intense scenes.
And it doesn't like overshadow what's going on. It like really blends together like so well.
I agree. Like it all feels like the on like the same level, if that like the same playing field. They're all just like so good. Like it has me so excited to like see where it goes from here, like with the soundtrack.
Agree. For you.
For me, I mean, you already know. You are like
Yeah.
you're a Twilight super fan.
Yeah. I already been watched. Oh wait, I forgot another thing with Jacob. In this movie, they have the iconic lines. Where the hell have you been, Loca? We
the
didn't mention that.
I knew that that line would happen at some point in this movie, and I still was not ready when he said it. I was cringing so freaking hard. I was so like weirded out. Like, what does it mean?
I don't know, because I was just thinking about it when it like became trending on TikTok or whatever on like Twilight Talk. I don't know if they mean loca as in like in Spanish, like where you been crazy? Or like does it have other meanings in their Twilight universe?
I'm probably assuming it has to do with the Spanish
But
translation.
they're not even Spanish.
I know, but like, I don't know. It's just I don't understand. Bella, where the hell you been, Loca? Like, girl,
Oh
it
my
made me
god.
so uncomfortable.
She was like, okay, why are you calling me Loca?
It's so funny. Like I knew that it was gonna happen. My friend Claire told me it was gonna happen, but I still was not ready.
I forgot it happened in this movie.
Yeah, actually thought that it happened in a different movie. That's why I was like, oh wait, when do they say this? And she's like, oh, it happens in New Moon. Also, before we get into the plot, which we'll kind of talk about this in a minute, this whole movie is about the werewolves, essentially, and Jacob. The movie is called New Moon, Moon Vampires. There's nothing to do with the moon.
Oh wait, was it because during like the Volturi scene, it was like the reason they all were in like the red, like the ceremony thing, and everyone was there, like the tourists were there because it was like a special occasion where the moon.
Yeah, probably, but it's still
I
like, I
forget
thought that
though.
like we were gonna get something good. I thought we were gonna get something exciting, something spicy, like a moon scene. Like something that like, oh, Jacob looks at the moon and he
True.
can't resist Bella or something. I don't know. Like, give me something exciting.
The author is just like, I like the phases of the moon. I like astrology.
Eclipse. Freaking dawn.
Twilight.
Yeah. I also am very like intrigued how they split the last book into two movies. So I will definitely be intrigued for when I come around to those.
Yeah, they shouldn't have done that, but you'll see.
And I'm also planning on reading the books too. So
Oh my god, you're a real fan
I'm
now.
really going like all the way in. I will probably wait to read the books until after I'm done with all the movies because I'm already like busy enough now, like living my life. But like
Living my life.
these Twilight movies are changing me.
Yeah, the books are kind of thick too.
Oh, I love a good thick book.
I think, yeah, they're like this thick.
Oh my.
And I think
Okay.
they have like a spin-off too. Like there's like other books with it, kind
Okay.
of like Edward's point of view, and then this other character, side character one.
Yeah, I'll look it up right now as we like transition into the plot, which I'm excited for, but like I'm also bored because this movie just was not cutting it for me.
Yeah, it was not giving what
Yeah.
the first one gave.
No, you're so right. Like the first one gave so much.
This one gave a lot, but just like gave a lot, but nothing at all. Like we still are confused. We still don't know what's going on. The plot is boring, kind of. Ugh.
Yeah, it's so boring. Okay, here we go. Off from the top of the movie, it is Bella Swan's 18th birthday. We have this. Oh, also, even before we get to the fact that it's her 18th birthday, there's this really weird opening scene of everyone wearing like these red cloaks and Bella like running away. And I'm literally so confused. I thought this was like the Handmaid's Tale or whatever. I was like, what is this?
The Handmaid's Tale copied Twilight.
Yeah, and
New Moon.
then it's so random, and I'm really confused like what is going on because I'm like, wait, why are we in like this like fictional world? Turns out the fictional world is actually Italy,
We're in real life, I guess.
I guess, but I did you don't know that until you know that they go to Italy. So I was just lost and confused.
That's like
Um,
such a weird origin that the Volturi is located headquarters in Italy.
no, you're not wrong. It's really weird, and I'm really confused, and I don't understand it. And then why did they give us a hint of what was to come before we were even introduced to the plot? And then we cut to this really weird, like Bella and Edward scene, and they're like in the park, not in like a park, but like they're in like a field, and then
The park.
he comes in, and he's like sparkling and glowing, and then he's like whiter than a freaking ghost, and I'm convinced that he's not real.
Mhm.
And it's really really weird, and we don't really have like anything that goes on. Like it's just really weird. And then we got cut to the 18th birthday thing, and then she's like unwrapping her gifts, and then she gets a paper cut, which is hard to believe.
He
um
bleeds.
And she's like, there's also this really like weird scene where she's like an old woman, like it's a dream. And then she like wakes
Mm-hmm.
up and her dad's like, Bella, you have a gray hair.
I feel like they did that a lot in like the Twilight saga. I forgot if they did it in the first movie, but like that meadow scene, like that garden field is like very I guess symbolic in the Twilight realm because it's shown in the other movies too, and
They
especially
did
in
one
the
in the
ending.
first one, I'm pretty sure, too.
Oh, I guess I don't know why. I mean, I forget why. I don't know why though. Why it's like so iconic with the field.
Yeah, I am unsure, but like it is very interesting. Well, also then there's like the whole fact of like the like vampires like trying to eat her from the paper cut, and then he like attempts or Jasper like tries to like attack her, and then they're like, Bella, we're putting your life in danger. And Edward's like, we're breaking up. This is all very fast too. Like I feel like it goes really fast paced. And then all of a sudden it's like crazy because they're like breaking up. And then there's these really
She's
weird
sad.
vampire flashbacks. And the Cullen family is looking scarier than before, in my opinion. All of them are like freaking me out. And then they're like throwing her this birthday party, which then they try to like attack her. And then it's like, bye bye, Bella. Bye bye, Edward. Like,
And then she's sad and having night terrors.
she's just screaming at the top of her lungs for a majority of the movie.
And then isolating herself from her friends, sitting at the lunch table that the Cullens used to sit at by herself.
Talk about desperate because she's desperate.
People are probably like, dang, this girl can't get over it. That's so sad.
Yeah, so basically, Bella being depressed and isolated leads to her like moving in with her mother in Jacksonville, Florida. She's gonna move, and then so she's really got like nothing left to lose.
Yeah, literally, she only lived for Edward, I guess.
And then she's like, no, I will not move. And then she's like, I'll start spending time with my other friends. So she goes and like to the movies with that one friend who throws up, and then Jessica's there. And obviously, Jessica is an icon, and we love her very, very much because if you don't, then you don't love Anna Kendrick, and that's concerning. And then it gets really like there's like this weird like biker scene that I was so confused about. And then it like reminds her of Edward, and then she's like imagining him like right there, and then she's so desperate. Like I can't.
I know, literally talking to herself too.
Yeah. She's like literally so in love with Edward, and for what? Like I obviously as of right now I'm still team Edward. But like why are you obsessed with him so much, girly? Like seek some help.
Literally, what did he bring to the table, really?
Really, I have no idea because he literally broke up with you because he was putting your life in danger, supposedly. Why
Like,
do
I
you
don't know what
care?
made their relationship so special, really.
Yeah, I don't know either. Like it's
That she'd be
so
obsessed like that.
it's weird. It's really, really weird. And so from there we get this weird like scene with her and Jacob, and he's like trying to like make her life better and like lighten up her world or whatever. And they go to, I am not gonna say this right. It's like an Indian tribe, Quelite, Quelite, Liute. I definitely did not say that right. Um, and they go to another movie with Bella and Mike. Jacob like kind of does this weird thing, and he like starts avoiding her. And then we don't see him for a hot second, and he comes back looking like a tall glass of water and so hot. You have literally entered Matthew's Jacob blackface because I this man is, oh my god, I literally like tripped over my cord. But like this man is so fine.
Matthew's like, I can't take my eyes off the screen.
No, I really can't. Like so fine. So he's got a haircut. He looks so good. I'm like swooning over this man.
Oh my god.
You know what? I am unashamed
That's so
because
funny.
I am not going to be falling for some pale vampire dude.
True.
Like
Valid.
Jacob is, I hate to say that he's more my type, but he's definitely more my type.
I also, it's so interesting how they showed Jacob's personality, and I don't really know Edward's personality other than not wanting Bella to be a vampire.
Yeah, no, literally that's it. That like Jacob has so much more to offer. He's bringing so much more to the table. Like he's giving what needs to be given.
He was the only thing giving in the movie.
Literally, you're not wrong. I wrote that in my notes. I was like, Jacob is he's holding this movie together by a single thread.
Oh
Actually, I said shirtless Jacob is holding this movie together by a single thread.
Specifically shirtless Jacob.
Yes, specifically shirtless Jacob. He's got the tattoo of the tribe members, and he's like, Bella, you need to stay away. So basically, everyone wants Bella to get out of their life.
Sure. That's so sad for her.
It kind of is, but like Bella kind of deserved it. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, she depended too much on people. She was too codependent.
She is very, very dependent on others. So then Bella goes to the meadow. Shout out to the meadow where her and Edward were like always together. And she's like, then we run into Laurent or whatever his name is, Laurent.
I think it's Laurent.
Laurent. I didn't say it right either way. And he's like gonna kill her. And then all of a sudden, boom, werewolf. What does it mean?
She freaks out. She's like, werewolf?
Do you know like the TikTok sound? What does it mean? Or whatever. That's
what
exactly.
What does it mean? What does it mean?
Yeah, I literally was not expecting the werewolves. I thought the werewolves did not come into Eclipse.
Was that our first time seeing a werewolf in the films?
Yes.
Oh,
that's why
I
was confused. I knew that they were coming, but I thought that it wasn't until Eclipse. I don't know why, because I was like, there's nothing happening in this movie. There's no way they're going to introduce werewolves. And then boom.
Yeah, I felt like the CGI for the werewolves too were pretty good. Like
I was like kind of frightened.
They look good.
I was kind of frightened. Not as good as Jacob, but like I was kind of here for it. And nonetheless, we also cannot just like skip over the whole like there's like a treaty thing that is between like the Cullens and the tribe. So then they need to like work through this treaty, whatever it's called. But they're looking for Victoria because Victoria is like trying to be with James or whatever. But Edward killed James. So that presents a problem for the pack. And so the pack is like all lost and confused. And then there's this whole treaty thing. And Jacob like is trying to like figure out his whole new werewolf thing. And then Bella is like alone once again.
Yeah.
And you know what? Kind of here for it. Because you know what, girly? You had those manic depressive episodes. You had the screaming night terrors. Like, you depended too much on this vampire man who's not worth it. Get with Jacob.
Oh my god. So you are team Jacob.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, like character-wise, so far I like Edward, but Jacob is just so much better. He's so much hotter. He has so much more depth. He's a freaking werewolf. Like, he's checking all my boxes. Like,
you're like, werewolf? Check.
Yeah, werewolf. Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm kind of here for Team Jacob right now. Like, I will be honest. The haircut did him a lot of favors. So yeah, that's where I stand. If anyone cannot tell. Then Edward starts to believe that Bella killed herself because Alice
Yeah.
had this weird vision. Alice can get out. I don't like Alice.
Yeah, she has a vision and she's unable to see werewolves in her vision, so she couldn't see that Bella was saved actually. And then freaking Edward was like, "Oh, she's dead. Okay, I'm gonna kill myself. The only way to kill myself is to go to the Volturi." That scene was
Exactly.
intense.
And then it's like Edward goes to the Volturi, and then did I say that wrong? Like that wrong?
Yeah.
How is it pronounced?
Volturi.
But Volturi.
After I just said Volturi, you said Volturi.
Volturi. Volturi.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Edward goes to the Volturi, which is really, really confusing. It's in Italy.
I know, just Italy. Just going to Italy.
Basically, he like plans to like expose himself during this large festival of being a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alice like somehow goes to be with Bella and she's still alive. And then Alice is like, oh, I fucked up.
Yeah, and they were like trying to call Edward and he wasn't answering. I think he threw his phone, but like, oh my God. Like, it was so dramatic for no reason. Like, it didn't have to be that way.
Yeah, but nonetheless, Alice and Bella still head on over to Italy and they prevent him from revealing himself, which is good for him, I guess. And then he's like, Bella, you're alive. And it's so weird. And then he's like, I promise I'll never leave you again, which I still am not 100% sure I believe.
Dang.
I'm also may or may not be texting someone I had plans with, being like, running a couple minutes late today.
Oh my God.
Because the podcast comes first, obviously.
So funny. Are you on spring break?
No, I wish I was.
Oh.
I still have like
Oh,
2
yeah.
more weeks. Literally.
So yeah, so then they take him out of the sunlight so they can't see him. And then the Volturi still is interested. They're like, why were you gonna do that? Blah blah blah. You're too important of a vampire to just die. And then they smell Bella and they're like, she knows about us. And that's the thing with vampires. They're like, one rule that they only care about is no human can know about vampires. And they're like, she knows. And then they trip out and like about to kill her and they're like, no. And then Alice shows her visions about Bella being like a vampire eventually in the future. And they're also perplexed that they can't read her mind or like do anything to her because she's like protected. And that's why she's also so special, other than she's already going to be a vampire later on. And also because Edward and Alice are like highly, I guess, not highly powerful, but like have very unique powers that the Volturi are into, which is why they've been so interested into the Cullens. Boom. Plot.
They love the Cullens. And then they're like, they vote on her becoming a vampire, which I wrote in my notes was really, really weird.
I know. I mean, she wanted to, I guess, but like, what if she didn't want to?
Yeah. And then it's like, then Jacob at the end is like, the treaty with the tribe will be broken if any Cullen like bites a human, which Bella, I believe, is still a human at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So then that creates a problem because, you know, I don't know what they're doing in the bedroom, I guess. I don't know.
Literally, I don't know what they could, if she does turn, like, they could literally just run away. Like, are the werewolves gonna follow them? Like, they have their own treaty
no
to
clue.
like
And then
defend.
Then it's like, I will change you into a vampire if you marry me. Will you marry me?
And then end. Oh my God. Woo.
That is horrifying.
No, will you marry me?
I was so uncomfortable. I didn't even know what to say. I was like, I wrote this in my notes and I was like, I don't know where I thought this movie was going, but it wasn't here.
That's so funny. I know, like it. The first one, so good, decent plot. It got where it needed to be, and then New Moon. I don't know. It's just because maybe they weren't expecting the first film to be so big, for it to be like a whole phenomenon, and for it to get greenlit for a second movie that they'd like didn't know where the plot was going. I don't know because I didn't read the second book, but it seemed like they didn't know what to do with all the success that they had.
Yeah, I like kind of knew like going into this, because I believe I gave the first one a 7, that
A
I was
7, wow.
I was gonna like end up changing it as I watched the rest of the movies, and I am already officially changing that to an 8, maybe even a 9, because this movie is like a, a 5,
Yeah, I was rating it the same.
or maybe a 6 at tops. This movie is so boring. It's so dry. There's like no, it ended so well at the beginning of the first movie, and then we came to this and I'm just so bored out of my mind, if you will. Like, there was so much potential, that was just wasted.
Yeah. Is it like because they really wanted to introduce Jacob and have like a rival love thing like so badly? I don't
I don't
know.
know what it was, but I'm done. I was so done after this, but Twilight month will still go on. I will suffer through the rest of the movies. I'm hoping that Eclipse gets better. I've heard much better things about Eclipse,
Hmm.
but I'm a little nervous.
It does. It is good. Plus, it's more action packed in Eclipse. This one was like nothing.
There was
Nothing
nothing
happened.
happening. It was like it
Literally.
was a snooze fest.
It was just like Bella sad. That's really it throughout the
Bella,
whole thing.
sad. Jacob, werewolf. Cullen, Volturi.
Yeah, literally. That's all. Literally, that's all.
Yeah, it was interesting for sure. Like I said, I'm gonna give it another chance, but to like not this movie, I probably won't watch this for a while. But like the series, the franchise, the saga has a chance to redeem.
Hmm.
Because I'm actually borrowing my friend's DVD set because I thought the movies were on Netflix. They are not on Netflix.
Yeah, I know. I tried using my VPN, but I forgot my VPN account password because I was gonna try to watch it on other countries, I guess, sponsored by
Mm.
VPN. I'm just kidding. Imagine. You should. But anyways, they were on Netflix though for a little bit. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden it's gone.
Yeah, I was very upset, but my friend gave me her DVDs, so we're good.
The DVDs are so good. I have the DVDs as well. That's like one of the only things I have DVDs on.
Yeah, you made fun of me for my DVDs, remember? I remember it.
Yes.
It is so funny. It is, yeah. She gave me her whole box set, so I have all of them in one and 2 DVDs, so I feel special.
Yes, watch the deleted scenes on the DVDs.
Okay, I will. Yeah, I think that about wraps up this episode. So if you wouldn't mind telling my guests, not my guests, you're the guest, my listeners, where they can support Penny for Your Thoughts and listen and follow you and everything, all that fun stuff.
Yes, I'm most active on Instagram. That's Penny for Your Thoughts podcast, Penny for Your TH0TS podcast. I also have a TikTok I'm trying to get followers on, so you should follow me on TikTok at Penny for Your Thoughts, just all regular. And then you could listen to my podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and anywhere else. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kelly. I feel like we've just been going with these episodes, and I'm kind of here for it.
Yes. I know. I feel like I've talked to you a lot.
Yeah, we're just like besties now. Like I said, there is the comfort movies and shows episode on Kylie's podcast that I'll have linked below. There's Emperor's New Groove episode, which came out last month on the podcast. And then there's New Moon, which is its own entity.
Uh-huh. And then maybe a future one.
Oh yeah. Which we already kind of teased, I think, on the Emperor's New Groove episode. So I don't think anyone is ready. I don't think Matthew and Kelly are just taking over the podcast industry.
Yes, we're conquering it.
One step at a time.
One movie.
One
One movie at a time.
And yeah, I'm still locked out of the podcast TikTok, Kelly. I feel like I've given you an update every single time.
Oh my gosh. You still, oh my.
I think I'm just gonna have to make a new one.
That is so sad.
My heart aches. But it's okay because we still got Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, place. Well, we don't have TikTok. We have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all the places at That's So Matthew. And my website, that'smatthew.com, for all the fun stuff on there. And I upload all my episodes onto YouTube, so everyone should go.
You're on YouTube?
Well, I just do little audiograms.
Oh.
No, I would never put my guests through that without like asking for permission.
That's funny.
No, it's just little audiograms, just cute little design, little fun stuff. I don't really get any views, but like I heard it helps. So
I heard
it helps. You know, I'm trying to blow up here, Kelly.
I should get on YouTube then too.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, that about wraps up this episode of the podcast for Twilight Month. Stay tuned for next week's episode covering Eclipse with my friend Maggie. I'm not ready to see where it goes from here, but like, I am very intrigued. I have my hopes set high. Maybe I shouldn't, but I'm ready to see where this Twilight journey takes me.
I'm excited for you
Yeah.
to experience this whole thing.
Everyone can tune in every single week of April for a new Twilight episode. And thank you so much, Kelly. And thank you everyone so much for listening. I'll see you all in next week's episode. Bye.